Well, my name's Geoff Lawton. This is where we're initiating a project to set up and establish the Permaculture Institute of Costa Rica.
My name's Diane Firestone, and we're in Dominical, and specifically this area is called Baru. When I first got here, these open vistas were so attractive, but I didn't realize it's because they'd cut all the forests down to run cattle. So when I acquired the property in '92, the owners took all their cattle off, and within 6 months, you could not ride a horse across the same pasture because the weeds were so high. I had really no idea that it took that much maintenance to keep the pastures passable. And I never wanted to be a cattle farmer, so I just said, okay, let's plant some trees and see if we can get this back in forest. I just started talking to some friends, and they said, well, have you ever heard of permaculture? And
permaculture. Well, I sort of grew up with it. Dad always talking about permaculture, and I did my first course when I was 13, so I sort of grew up with it, you know. As soon as you take a permaculture course, everything makes sense. Before that, you know, you sort of go, oh yeah, you know. You take a permaculture course, you go, oh, now I know what he's talking about, you know.
The situation here is it's basically wet, dry tropics. They get about 4 months traditionally of dry season, and then a very heavy wet season, up to 5 meters of rain and sometimes up to 7. It's a very rich, diverse ecosystem, but this is volcanic country, and most of our slopes here are 64 degrees, and deforested and heavily grazed, they slip after a while. It only takes about 20 years for the roots of the giant forest to rot away in this humid climate, and then heavy rains give a terrible slippage, and we need to pull out all stops to show how we can recover that country into very sustainable long-term forests which are carbon sinks forever. To recharge the groundwaters, we need to install earthworks. Now today we have machines that do this very, very well, and they can be very destructive machines or very artistic, beneficial machines to landscape and environment. You can only change things within yourself first, and then you can only change things locally. Things only ever change on a local level. So that means somebody has to really sort of get off their bum and get moving locally and pull people together. At start with, you feel like you're on your own, but then as you're walking on towards that vision, you find that a lot more people are also walking with you, and it gets easier and easier and easier, right? So we don't have to go and knock on doors until our knuckles are bleeding. We just have to work with the people that are coming in our direction, and it's global. There's a global change. So those are the people we work with, and if we can keep up with them, we're lucky.